What if your inability to focus isn't a personal failure, but the intended outcome of a system designed to harvest your mind? You sit down to work on something that matters. You open your laptop, and somewhere between that intention and the first word, it happens. You check a notification. You glance at a feed. 20 minutes evaporate, and the worst part? You watch yourself do it, like a passenger in your own brain, screaming at the driver who kept scrolling. That eerie feeling isn't weakness. It's a conditioned reflex, as automatic as flinching from something thrown at your face. Your brain has been trained, through thousands of daily repetitions, to reach for stimulation the moment it detects stillness. You didn't install this program, it was installed in you. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this happened and, more importantly, how to begin reclaiming the quiet, focused mind you miss. Let's start with your morning. For most of human history, the first hour of the day was silent. Your brain had space to wake up, to think its own thoughts before processing the world's. Now, what's the first thing you do? Before your feet hit the floor, you're holding a screen. News, messages, a dozen fragmented inputs pour into a brain that was, 3 seconds ago, asleep. This isn't a small difference. It's everything. Your brain doesn't just receive information, it tunes itself to the pattern of that information. If the first thing it gets is fast, chaotic, and fragmented, it recalibrates. It makes that its new normal. So later, when you try to read a book or think a single thought through, your brain doesn't feel settled. It feels wrong. Agitated, like something is missing. You know that itch. Sitting in silence, but your mind hums with a need to check something. That's not boredom. It's literal neurological withdrawal from a stimulation pattern your brain now depends on, and you've been calling this feeling laziness. Here's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about what's running in the background. Imagine your mind's capacity is a clear glass of water. Every open tab, every unread message, every unresolved conversation or lingering worry is a drop of ink. They fall in, silently, throughout your day. By the time you sit down to pour in the water of your actual work, the report, the project, the deep thought, the glass is already 80% full with murky ink. You try to focus, and it feels like dragging yourself through mud. That's not a focus problem, it's a capacity problem. You're blaming yourself for the overflow when the glass was never empty to begin with. Psychologists call this cognitive load, and the noise you've learned to ignore is the heaviest load of all. This leads to a scene you'll recognize. You're reading. Your eyes move down the page, but your mind is gone, thinking about an email, a memory, a sound. You hit the bottom and realize you absorbed nothing. You scroll back up. It happens again. You're not failing at reading. You're trying to read with a brain conditioned to switch contexts every few seconds. You're asking it to hold one thread with hands trained only to scroll. Now, let's talk about the chemical driver behind all this, dopamine. It's not really the pleasure chemical, it's the anticipation chemical. It's what makes your thumb open an app before you consciously decide to. Why? Your brain is wired for novelty. A rustle in the bushes could be food or a predator. Noticing new things kept humans alive. But the digital world has hijacked this ancient wiring. Every scroll delivers novelty. A new face, a new joke, a new outrage. Each gives a tiny dopamine nudge. Hundreds of these micro rewards a day recalibrate your brain's reward system. So when you sit with a task that isn't novel, that requires patience, it feels like torture. Not because the work is hard, but because you're trying to compete with a slot machine using nothing but patience. No wonder you lose. If you're finding this valuable, hit subscribe. Most viewers aren't subscribed yet, and what comes next changes how you see your entire environment. This brings us to the cruelest part, the shame. Your environment is engineered to scatter you, and then you internalize a story that says, "This is my fault. Everyone else can focus." But who are you comparing yourself to? You're comparing your behind-the-scenes struggle to someone else's highlight reel. You see their finished article, their clean-desk Instagram post. You don't see the 100 times they caught themselves reaching for their phone, the anxiety they managed, or the years they spent intentionally removing distractions from their environment. You're comparing your struggle to their result and concluding the gap is willpower. It's not. It's almost never willpower. It's infrastructure. It's what they've removed from their space long before they ever ask themselves to focus. And shame doesn't motivate, it destroys. Shame about being distracted creates more mental noise, which makes focusing harder, which creates more shame. It's a perfect, devastating loop. Here's a shocking fact to re-grab your attention. 50 years ago, the average person processed less information in an entire week than you do before lunch on a Monday. When someone tells you to just focus harder, they're asking you to produce deep thought in conditions that are historically unprecedented. It's like telling someone to sleep in a nightclub and calling them an insomniac. The problem isn't that you can't focus. It's that you're already focusing on 100 tiny things simultaneously. Your attention isn't absent. It's scattered, bleeding out through 1,000 small cuts. This is all by design. We live in an attention economy. Your focus is the scarce resource. Every app, every platform is in a ruthless, well-funded war to capture it and hold it. Notifications are tuned by audio psychologists. Autoplay eliminates stopping points. The red dot on your icon is a carefully tested trigger. This isn't conspiracy, it's the stated business model. You're not the customer, you're the crop. Your attention is being farmed. And after all that, we look at someone who can't concentrate and ask, "What's wrong with you?" That's like blaming someone for gambling in a casino designed by 1,000 psychologists. So, what do? This is the part that changed everything for me. The answer isn't another app, a 7-step protocol, or gritting your teeth. Willpower is a tank that empties daily. If you spend your morning fighting every ping and pull engineered by 1,000 experts, you'll be running on fumes by noon. The real shift isn't about adding willpower. It's about subtracting noise. Environment over willpower every single time. Think of your mind like that glass again. If you keep pouring dirty water into it, no technique will make the water clean. You have to protect what goes in first. This doesn't mean becoming a monk. It means becoming aware. Notice what you let in and when. Most people have never done this. Input just happens to them passively, like breathing. Try this. For one morning, don't reach for a screen when you wake up. Let the world arrive slowly. Feel the difference. Awareness comes before restriction. Once you truly feel the contrast between a morning that starts in stillness and one that starts in a scroll, you won't need a lecture. You'll want the quiet, not from shame, but from self-preservation. The most powerful change isn't adding a new habit. It's removing an old one. Remove the automatic reach for the phone before your own thoughts arrive. Remove the compulsive need to be updated on things that have no real effect on your actual life. Every single thing you remove gives back something you thought was gone. Space. Mental space. Where a thought can finish. Where your mind can work without static. You've lived in the noise so long you think it's just what thinking feels like. It's not. A quiet mind feels alive. Your ability to get lost in a book or a project for hours as a child didn't vanish because you grew up. It's because you grew into a new environment, one that fragments attention by design and then sells you the solution. You are the same person. You're just in a radically different room. The next time you catch yourself reaching for your phone mid-thought, don't punish yourself. Just notice it, calmly. See it for what it is, a conditioned reflex installed by years of repetition. It's not your personality. It's not who you are. It's what was done to your attention. The fact that you feel longing for that deeper focus, that you miss the sense of time slowing down in a world that felt full, that's not nostalgia, that's a signal. It's the part of you that was never overwritten. That's the part that matters. And that's the part that will lead you back. Not through force, but through understanding. Reduce the noise before you demand the focus. Protect the input before you force the output. You were never broken. You were just never told what was happening to you. Now you know. Drop a comment below telling me what's one input you could remove from your morning tomorrow. And subscribe if you haven't. I post new videos every week to help you build a quieter, more focused mind.